Sabbath, everybody. Here we are at the 16th of May, 3:37 a.m. Let's come right down to chapter 3. This is really beautiful, so take your time. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to cast away. A time to rend or tear and a time to sow or mend. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. What profit hath he that worketh and that wherein he laboureth? If all this is so that we just read, what's it all about? What is this thing we call life? It's a time of all these things. So let's continue. I have seen the travail which God hath given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also he hath set the world in their heart, that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. Now, let me speak to my fellow Christians, who sometimes, like myself, become exasperated with the inability of a normal person to grasp the Word of God. I want you to read this with me one more time. God, or He, see the big H? He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Now listen, also he has set the world in their heart, so that no man, how many men? No man, say no man. So that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. So if they have a hard time believing that God is, just know that it's in all of our hearts to start out right here. This is the starting place. This is where every human being is. They can't understand the work that God makes from the beginning to the end, because the world is in their heart. You want to go to the ball game. You want to see your team win. You want to do what you want to do. And so you do. And let's read on. Before you think that you're absolutely righteous, I want you to read this. I know that there is no good in them. Now, you could easily think that that is the people, that there's no good in the people. That's not what it's saying. I thought that too, but it's not. I know that there is no good in them. The them is the days of travail, the days that men are exercised in it, the days that you're living. There's no good in them, but for a man to rejoice and to do good in his life. All right, there's a lot of stuff that happens in your life, but enjoy yourself. Enjoy, rejoice, do good. Don't do evil. Do good in this life. I know that there is no good in them, but for a man to rejoice and to do good in his life, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of God. I know that whatsoever God doeth, it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it. And God doeth it. that men should fear before him, have great reverential respect, and yes, a certain amount of understanding that you cross the wrong borders and you could put yourself in dire jeopardy even with God. That which hath been, now listen, this is key. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And God requireth that which is past. This one part of the Bible right here should tell you that God lives outside of time, that everything that we're walking day by day is a progression of the time. But everything that God has already done has already done. If you could go to eternity, you would see that the entire Bible has been fulfilled from one end to the other, and whatever God has done beyond this is already done also. In other words, time is where we're living right now. But when somebody says it's prophecy that so-and-so said something, if they said it from the Bible, it's not that they are declaring what they think is going to happen. It's God who is standing there watching it happen right before his very eyes at that moment, telling the person what is happening. That's why it is accurate to the letter, because it is what is happening right then and there. There are things happening in the past right now. There are things happening in the future right now. There's things happening while you're hearing my voice tell you these words right now. 1,000 years ago, if you came to this very instant, you would hear me saying these words. The vanity of all life. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. I said in mine heart, God shall judge the righteous and, not with, and the wicked. That and, those three letters is very, very important. I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked. For there is a time there for every purpose and for every work. I said in mine heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that God might manifest them. Well, let's go into that a little deeper. I said in my heart, okay, concerning the estate. Now, when I mow my lawns, I call it the estate lawns of Humble George. It's my estate. I have a title and a deed to this land that belongs to me. All the payments have been made to make sure that it remains that way. I owe nothing. I said in my heart concerning the estate of the sons of men. This is what he's saying, that God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. In other words, to have a good and sober look at you being a person, a living being. For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts. Every one thing, even one thing, befalleth. I gotta get this. Hang on. Bear with me just a minute. Let me get this up where I can get to it. Okay. For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts. Even one thing befalleth them. As the one dieth, so dieth the other. Yea, they have all one breath, so that a man hath no preeminence above a beast, for all is vanity. All go unto one place. All are of the dust, and all turn to dust again. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth? Therefore I perceive that there is nothing better than that a man should rejoice in his own works, for that is his portion. For who shall bring him to see what shall be after him? Yes. Oh, you should have seen the stars this morning at 2-something. Absolutely amazing. And the Big Dipper was right over the house, and there's 7 stars to the Big Dipper. And I looked up, that's what started this whole thing. I was outside praying, lifting my hands to the Lord in the darkness of the night, looking at the beautiful stars that He's made, and saying to myself, how could anybody honestly in their heart think that this is random chaos that just blew dust all over the universe and it became these lights that have symmetrical shapes? There are symmetrical shapes in the sky. And it's not done random. It's done by the Creator. And He's the artist of all, the beginning and end of all artists. He is our exceedingly great reward. So if you see humble George enjoying his life and rejoicing in the portion that God has given me, know that that's pleasing not only to humble George, but it's pleasing to God too, because this is what He wants for you too. He wants you to rejoice in your life, to look forward to a day like a child the night before Christmas, to not be afraid, to realize it's all been. You're not going to change. Well, you can change your attitude, you can change your posture in life, but whatever's going to happen has already happened. Whatever there is. Jesus said, if the world be kindled, where will I come to kindle it? That was a scripture in the Bible that caused me not to fear nuclear war. There is a spot in the Bible that talks about Iran, though. And it does talk about a time where for many, 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 many years it'll be an uninhabitable land. And I don't know if we're on the verge of that. I don't know where we are exactly, but I'm going to wish you the most wonderful weekend here in May. Listen, this is the only May 16th we're ever going to get at 3:49 a.m. Enjoy it to the fullest. Tell God you love Him from your heart. And tell your spouse or your loved ones or your children that you love them, your friends that you love them. And if you can get an arm around them, give them a nice hug. Not a cheap-ass hug, a nice hug. Draw them close to you so they know you love them. And when you speak to people, speak the truth. All right? That's all I got for you on this wonderful May Sabbath Saturday. I'm going to go in and get Christopher, and he's coming out to play what we can of a Assetto Corsa. I'm going to go down and see if I can do something with it, because he loves playing that. They told him because he was handicapped that he would never be able to drive a car. Yeah, well, they aren't. Believe me, that guy could drive a car. He does. If he can drive humble George's cars on a Assetto Corsa, he can drive a car. So that's what's going on today, and a nice little cookout in the back. Beautiful weather. I had a good time on Bella last night. She rode like a champ. Oh, I love that thing. God's very kind to me. I've been through the bad parts. I've been through the bitter parts. Just like Ecclesiastes said, there's a time for mending. There's a time for ripping. There's a time for all these things. So sometimes you think to yourself, what did I do to bring these days upon myself, if they're bitter days? Just know that this too shall pass. Learn what you can from the bitter days. Sometimes it's in the bitter days that you learn more about yourself and about life and about God than you do in the happy days, because you tend to just, and it's good to do that too. I mean, throw off the heavy weights. We can't carry these heavy weights all the time. You're not designed to do it. God doesn't want you to do it. Don't whip yourself and beat yourself because you've failed. Get on your knees and ask God to forgive you, and come on, give me a hand, Lord. Help me up. Let's go on together. Let's go on fresh. Give me a fresh, clean slate today with a clean piece of paper, nothing written on it yet. And Lord, let me be the pen in your hand that you can write a beautiful song or a beautiful poem or even a stern warning to somebody who needs it. But let it come from you and not from me. All right? Bye-bye. Elijah, but he went up in a whirlwind, not in a chariot of fire. All right. God gave you two hands for, well, more than one reason, but check it out. Let's see. Aha. Oh, look at this puppy. Look at this puppy. Oh, yeah. The new tailpiece for the beautiful cloud leopard. Oh, man. Look at that. Shit, President Trump will be at the door if I keep showing these fucking things. But yeah, see? Look at that. That's the way she'll go. It's like this. Boy, that's going to be nice. When I get home from the store, I'll measure everything. So when I put this in, it's going to be exactly so. Oh, that's a sweetheart. That's heavier than this, too. Look, here's the little arm for it. Oh, look, a little adjustment. Look, they get little wee Allen. But I can see it. Now, you'll be able to see it, too. Hang on. There it is. See little wee Allen? That's to adjust these tiny little screws. So the string will be happy. Look how nice that is. Oh, it'd be nicer if I do that. Look at that. Look how smooth they are. The strings will scoot right across that little crotch there. That's like a scooting crotch. Make your day. Just want to see if it would clean up. Isn't that nice? Okay. 2 minutes and 17 seconds of ass kick. That's going to be great.